as the what? Big as the Super Bowl.
Broadcasting from Radio Row inside the Mandalay Bay Convention Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. You are tuned into Sideline Sports Talk Network, the W Show on 100.1 FM, Kansas City. Brought to you by Stockton Law Firm, the Solar Center, the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services, Gates Barbecue, Positivity Water, Soiree Steak and Oyster House, the Right Tally Tax Preparation, Dylan Zona Rosa, KC Week Spin 360, Derek Thomas Neil Smith III and Long Foundation, Phenomenal Kids Child Care Learning Center, XC Fright Studio Club, Sierra Fonseca, Hairstylist New York Life.
Back here inside of Radio Row, Mandalay Bay Convention Center, we have had some great guests today, and we have Black royalty with us right now. Former NFL quarterback, the first Black quarterback to win a Super Bowl.
Yes,
Mr. Doug Williams. How you
doing? Good to be here, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah. What brings you to Radio Row?
Well, just about every year during the Super Bowl, I come to Radio Row and do other things like fist pilot, going to the honor thing, and our owner Magic Johnson having an event tomorrow night too, so I get a chance to attend that.
That's for sure. Does this ever get old for you?
Not really, because what it does for me, get a chance to meet a lot of the guys that I played against, played with, and just to see them, because that's the only way you get a chance to see them once a year, get a chance to shake their hand, and that's about it. I think that's important.
And this is huge for me because my dad played baseball at Grambling.
Really?
So so there's that connection there.
That G.
I'm a Southern Jag, so I won't hold that against either one of you two.
Well, you could have held that to yourself.
We were, and it's funny because we had just had Coach on the segment. What's his name from earlier?
Coach Lux.
Loxley. Coach Loxley from Maryland. And him starting up the Minority Coaches, I think it's Association, Coalition. And we brought up Coach Eddie Robinson. And we just talked about how, when the conversation comes up about winning as coaches, a lot of times he gets left out. Just talk about Coach Robinson. I know you talk about him all the time, but, for our viewers. And,
Mike Lobster, I've been knowing Mike a long time. When Mike was at the prep school up in Rhode Island for Navy, I was coaching at Navy.
I've
known Mike a long time, and I'm up in Virginia now, so I get a chance to talk to Mike. And plus, I'm on his board.
He did say that.
Yeah, but when you talk about Coach Robinson, you talk about the number of people's lives that he touched.
Yes.
It wasn't just about football, but at the same time, you go to the Eddie Robinson Museum up in Grambling, man, and you walk in there and you look at all the names up there, and all those guys' names that is on that wall had an opportunity to go in the National Football League.
Yes.
Over 200 and some names on that wall. This is before integration and all that, and a little bit after integration. It kind of tell you who Eddie Robinson really was as an individual. After practice, we didn't talk about X's and O's. We talked about the Joes and how to handle yourself off the field. They tell you can't put your hand on them young ladies. Talk about drugs, talk about going to class and being a good American, putting yourself in a position to make sure you and your family have a good life.
Yeah, and talk about how it feels to be the first Black quarterback to win a Super Bowl, but now having a league where it's a lot more open, where you have a lot more Black quarterbacks that are not only good but making the playoffs, and then now we have one that's arguably the best.
Well, first of all, I didn't ask to be the first Black quarterback, but they gave me that opportunity,
right? Yeah,
so I took advantage.
Yeah,
but when you look back at so many guys before me, and guys that did not get an opportunity to play in the National Football League, and that's the number one thing I look at first. But then, I got that chance to play, and Coach Rob used to always instill in us, in order to play in the National Football, you need one thing, and that was an opportunity.
Yes.
And I was given that opportunity, and I'm grateful for having that opportunity, getting a chance to play with the Redskins and becoming that first quarterback. But last year for me was one of the biggest time in my lifetime to be able to put that trophy out there before the Super Bowl and then get an opportunity to watch two young Black quarterbacks play the game.
Yes.
And they played the game well.
Yes.
They played it so well that both of them, somebody had to lose.
Yeah.
You were wishing nobody lost, but somebody had to happen. But it was good because what it showcased to the world that it's not the color of your skin, it's the opportunity you give these guys to play. And then this year, 2023, we had 14 quarterbacks to start the year.
Yeah.
Sure did.
Which is great. We
Yeah.
got 26 black quarterbacks that are in this league. And then we got 3 or 4 more coming in this time.
Yes.
It's one of those situations that they're getting the opportunity today that they didn't get yesteryear. And I think that's what it's all about.
How many of those guys reach out to you?
You know what? The younger guys, you know this just like anybody else. Young guys a little different than these older guys.
Yeah.
But what they do, if they see me, they acknowledge me.
Okay.
And if I'm close to them, they put that old OG on me.
Yeah.
And when they acknowledge you with that OG, they're telling you I respect what you've done.
Right.
So it's one of those situations.
Of course.
So being the OG, what is your biggest game that you spit back to the young guys then? What advice, life advice even, doesn't even have to necessarily be football advice?
Well, you don't talk football with them because they got coaches, offense coordinators. They hear enough football every day.
Yeah.
But you do, you just tell those guys, just keep doing what you're doing. You're going the right way. You're doing what you got to do. Take care of your family. And hey, don't put your name in the paper at night. That's the most important thing. And I think these young guys has done that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, these young quarterbacks that are in the league now, you don't hear a lot of things that are negative towards those guys.
Yeah.
And I think that's a positive situation for the black quarterback.
Yeah.
Now, great strides have been made for the representation when it comes to black quarterbacks in the league, right? Do you think that there's still progress that can be made?
I think the quarterback position going to take care of itself, because like I say, 14 started this year. You got some coming in. The coaches have gotten a little better. We got 9, coaches of color that are in the league now. The black president, we got 5 black presidents that are in the league. The one area that I think needs so much work, and that is the black quarterback coach
Yes.
and the offensive coordinator. That's the area that we are lacking in. I think when you look at it realistically, we might have, we don't have none.
One.
I mean,
we have
me.
That was it.
He's not in now.
Yeah. I know.
We have no coordinators.
Yeah.
And the black quarterback coaches down to 1 or 2. You got Baltimore and you got Cleveland. So that's where we are. You got 2 quarterback coaches out of 32 teams.
Now, is that something that could be an emphasis for the coalition coming up?
Oh, ain't no question in my mind.
Yeah.
Because when you look at the guys that have become head coaches, what are they doing first? They the quarterback coach. They the coordinators. So that's where we're getting shut out at, because offensively, they're not in that room with the quarterback. Because everybody think the most important part of your football team is the quarterback.
Of course.
So if those guys handle those guys and they get the chance to watch them work, they get more opportunity to get an interview. And I think that's what we have to work on.
Definitely.
And finally, we're here for the big game. Who you got?
I got the 49ers in Kansas City.
You almost got it. You started with 49ers.
I saw y'all. What? No, it's hard. It's unfair and it's hard to pick anybody in this game, because both of these teams deserve to be in the Super Bowl. And both of these teams got quarterbacks. Purdy just got in there last year, and he's in the Super Bowl. And then you got Mahomes, 28 years old, that done made a mocker out of this thing. 28, 4 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowls, 4 opportunity. Got a chance to get 3, and the way he plays the game is the way the game should be played. And that's what having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you see Patrick and you see the things that he's able to do, does that remind you of anybody, or does that, what do you see from him?
I tell you what did remind me. I was in Kansas City earlier this year at his event. And what he does for people outside of football.
Yeah,
that's the one thing that made me into Patrick Mahomes from that standpoint, because he gives so much to the community.
Yeah.
And I think that's the bottom line. And the way he played the game, he played to win. And I played the game to win. I think every quarterback played to win, but I'm talking about from a standpoint doing whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Giving up your body and everything else to make it happen.
And you were there for his 15 of my homies Foundation event. You guys presented him with an award.
Yes.
Can you talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah, James Harris and I presented him with the Founders Award. And the Founders Award was dealing with the All-State Legacy Bowl, HBC Legacy Bowl.
Right.
We have an all-star game where historical black guys that finished their year play in the All-Star game down in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And Allstate is one of our sponsors. But Patrick Mahomes has been a sponsor for the last 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so that's what I'm saying. Outside of football, he gives more than you even imagine.
Right.
And he has donated to the Allstate Legacy Bowl, and we honored him with that award.
That's huge. I don't think a lot of people know that. I'm a graduate of HBCU as well, so that makes me proud. Go
What
Patrick.
school do you in?
Claflin University.
Clap, that's in
Orangeburg,
South Carolina. I know where you are. I know where you are.
And I like how you talk about players. You don't necessarily talk about them as a player. You talk about them as men.
Yeah.
Is that something that has always been instilled in you from your playing days, or is that something you learned as a coach along the way?
I think both, you know, growing up, playing, and as a coach.
Yeah.
Because when I coached at Grambling, you know, the same thing Coach Robinson told me, I'm telling my players the same thing, because that's what life is going to be all about.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a specific mentor or somebody that you necessarily modeled your game after, or just life in general?
Not my game, but a mentor. I was fortunate. I had Eddie Robinson, I had James Harris, and my oldest brother, Robert. You know, I had three of the best mentors that are out there.
Yeah. We definitely appreciate you giving us some of your time today, sir.
Thank you. My pleasure.
That's Doug Williams. We'll be back later with more guests live from Radio Row in a minute.
Go ahead, say it then. Who the GOAT? Who the GOAT? Who the GOAT? Who the GOAT? Big as the what? Big as the Super Bowl.